The information that is needed for our nation to weather our economic storm is directly related to the truths that we so often ignore. We proudly declare to the world that we are the United States of America, a group of individuals whose ancestors come from many different countries, but unite to fight for the freedom from subjugation and class tyranny for all who wish to experience democracy. We are a people who sanctimoniously assert to the world that we are one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. A place where all men are created equal. It can be said that what we believe to be the truth is valid and reliable because we have a preponderance of painstakingly documented evidence, facts that prove our beliefs. Yet how many of us summon the courage or curiosity to challenge beliefs instilled in us as innocent children? Many of our most established and respected beliefs are proving to be based upon facts that are becoming increasingly disproven by irrefutable evidence. In a country rampant with meism and familial protectionism, why is it so difficult to believe that throughout the millennium, men would not have an unconscious penchant to earnestly believe, interpret, and create elaborate arrays of facts to efficiently and effectively manage the masses? Somewhere in Management 101, it should say, or would say, separate people into easily identifiable groups. Allow various groups to be identified with something that makes them believe themselves superior to others, but inferior to those who manage them. Our nation at present is showing all the rips and tears and inconsistencies that have existed from her conception. Inconsistencies such as management through the creation of race and racial inequality. Race and racial inequality have powerfully shaped America from its early development. We like to think of the founding of the original colonies and later the United States as motivated by the quest for freedom. Initially, religious freedom, and later, political and economic independence. Yet from the very beginning, America, the American society, was equally founded on brutal forms of domination, inequality, and subjugation, which evolved into the gradual denial and limitation of humanity, persons who would later be designated slaves. Originally, slaves in the Americas were not defined by skin color. Unfortunately, intelligent men are too often controlled by the fearful and cruel child that remains within them, through whom they interpret the world. Over time, those who would be designated as slaves had to be a group that could be easily identified to increase the effectiveness of control. This is one of the great paradoxes of America. How could the principles of equality and freedom coexist with any form of slavery by individuals, in most cases, fleeing generations of cruel subjugation themselves? In the 21st century, we live with the ramifications of the paradox. During the short month of February, many in our nation, as well as others, will celebrate what began as Negro History Week and what has evolved into African American and Black History Month. Some will ignore the abundance of historical facts, while others will dwell upon the subjugation of persons of color in the Americas and the advancements since those horrible times. We live in the age of technology, an age in which painstaking research and cross-examination of information can be quickly, efficiently, and effectively gathered without being hindered or censored by those who would be threatened by the dissemination. Maybe they have no fear because a large proportion of citizens with access to information have no desire to examine contradictions to their beliefs. During this month, I will be presenting information with which you may or may not agree, accept, or totally reject. As in previous years, there will be those who will present scholarly rebuttals of some sort, while refusing to accept the fact that a large portion of scholarly evidence is based upon dogma. My goal is to stimulate thought and discussion. My objective is to motivate a greater number of constructive discussions between individuals and groups who continue to remain separated by factors that have no scientific validity. So join with me as we look behind the curtain throughout the month of February 2012.